Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the debut show of A Night In with Whizz. And in this series, we get some interesting people. We talk about interesting things that you may not know, may want to know a bit more about. So we grab someone that I think is interesting. We dive a little bit deeper. And today, for the debut episode, some call him the Puritan, some call him the Wolf of Walton, some call him Zoo. We've got the man, Macknnz. Macknnz, welcome in, my man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Thank you for taking the time to come talk to me today.
No worries.
Now I wanted to... Yeah, of course, mate. Big old busy schedule. Now I wanted to talk to you, mate, because you do something incredibly interesting that not a lot of people do. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the moment you are a full-time trader. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, when you say to someone, I'm a trader, you know, when you go out to a party or whatever, and they're like, oh, what do you do for a living? You don't say Tesco. You're like, trader. And every time they're like, what's that? What does that entail? What do you do? So it's obviously not the norm, and it's very, very different. So what I want to start off with is what got you into trading, and how long in total have you been doing it for?
Well, I started trading. Well, I got into trading when I was in college. So.
Oh wow.
Well, just before college, I took an interest in it, through business studies at school.
Okay.
But I never done anything. I didn't actually trade. I done some practice accounts and whatnot, and then probably when I was 18 I started to dabble in the stock market and just get familiar with it, not with lots of money or anything, just toying around, learning how to do things and reading stuff online and YouTube, all that stuff. So pretty much self-taught. And then it was at uni when I started to invest a lot more, when I started working when I was working part-time and I had more money aside to put into investments. I started doing that, and then it was when I had a full-time job is when I started investing a lot more.
Of course.
I started taking it more serious.
Yeah, put more. You got to bet. You got to invest big to get big.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course. So it was literally just a case of you had an interest in it and you wanted to pursue it, and you just you felt like you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had it's like a hobby. I enjoy. For some reason, I just enjoy stocks, economy stuff like that.
Would you say the risk is a bit? Would you say the risk is a big thing of it? The excitement, almost like it's not gambling, and it's not. Yeah. It's not at all. But I mean, as in the risk of it, the risk versus reward. Was it that kind of gripped you a little bit with that as well?
That probably does play a big part. It's like when you put a big bet down. You're like, that's why people get addicted to gambling.
Yeah,
it's essentially the same thing as gambling, really.
Yeah.
You're just betting that a company is going to do well, or instead of a football team winning a match, you're betting that company is going to succeed. Yeah,
of course.
So I guess that it is that kind of element of, I can make some money here. I think that's the thing. When there's something that you can make money through, you get that little bit of an addictive draw to it. Yeah,
of course, that makes sense. And for as long as I've known you, I know you've been into this, and I know it's been something you've enjoyed. But in the last, I would say maybe year and a half, 2 years, is when I've really known you to be proper into it. So you obviously, like you said, you had a full-time job before, and if I'm not mistaken, you lost your job just like I did through COVID.
Yeah.
So you then went straight into trading. Is that correct? You went straight into it full-time.
Yeah. So during I had that furlough period where I was employed, but I wasn't actually working.
Right.
And before I had my stocks portfolio, and I got liquidated in that. So I lost all of my money that I made in stocks.
So what do you mean by a portfolio? What do you mean by so someone that's new that doesn't realize? What do you mean by a stock portfolio?
So just a lot of different companies that I'm invested in.
Right. Okay.
So it's just so it's so all my investments just in one area. Let's say I was invested in Amazon, Tesla, Apple, and Microsoft.
Yeah.
That would be my portfolio.
Okay.
And then I just add other companies to it.
Right. Okay.
So I wasn't invested in, but along them lines.
You're using it as an example. Yeah, I totally get you. So you said you got liquidated from that. So
yeah.
Do you know why it got liquidated? And what, if you don't mind saying, what was it you were invested in that got liquidated?
So it was because of COVID and companies, companies just weren't trading. Things were going wrong.
Yep.
In the ones that I was invested in, and it just kind of like shit hit the fan. I couldn't keep up. Like I couldn't support my margins enough. I didn't have enough money to do it back then.
Yeah.
So I lost. I think like in a day I lost about $7,000.
Jesus.
Which at that time was like that was like huge money.
Right, terrifies me, mate.
I mean, it still is like
Yeah.
you know, $7,000. Like, I don't like.
But professional
losing,
like you now, mate. Professional like you, $7,000's nothing,
No.
mate.
Nah, it still hurts. It still hurts. But
Yeah.
I mean, like in comparison, like at that time, how much I was earning like a month, $7,000 was, you know, a good chunk. And
huge.
Before COVID, it was relatively safe. Like I'd been building that for maybe like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I didn't have like lots of investors, so we're talking like hundreds, like maybe 1,000 that slowly built into that.
Yeah.
And then when I lost it, I was like, I mean, I didn't lose exactly $7,000. I had like 500 quid left.
But still, you know, you lost a huge chunk, and it was quite scary. So what was your thought process? What was your mindset and game plan once you lost that?
Well, when I lost that, I didn't really have I had my job at the time, so I was safe. I was like, I mean, it's a bit of a bummer, but like if you've made it there already, you can do it again.
Yeah.
It's just another long climb.
Right.
And then it was more of a like, this next time have risk management in place. Don't just kind of do it. Like don't have like these big positions and just let them fall. Like,
so would you say you learned? So would you say you learned from previous? You kind of looked at it as, look, we've lost it. It's fine. We'll climb again, but this time I could do it better by doing this, doing that. It's a good way of looking at it, because a lot of people would lose that money and be like, right, this ain't for me. Can't do this. Like, there's no way I'm going for that again.
I mean, yeah, it's always like whenever you mess up, there's always a lesson to take.
Of course.
In trading is like lessons every day.
Yeah.
Like you always, like even like the professional like top traders make mistakes, but the difference between them and your average person, and the difference between them and me as well, is their risk management is better. They have a hell of a lot more experience, and they learn from their mistakes. Like people, like I might go and do the same thing 4 times before I go, oh, maybe I should do this.
Yeah.
You know, or like I'll get caught up in the moment of making profit, and instead of hitting that cash out button and knowing when to call it a day, I'll try and ride it way past my target. Like I might say I want to make 500 on this trade, and then it'll hit 500. I'll make 600, and it hits 600, and then I'll go up to 7, and then eventually you're just chasing like the market will fall, and you'll end up losing all your gains, and you'll be back to square one.
That's so scary to think about. So you obviously lost your job through COVID. So what was it from that point? What made you turn around and go, okay, I'm now going to give trading a full go. I'm going to give it everything, because obviously since that, you've obviously been a full-time trader. That is your craft. That is your job, which is quality, you know. So what made you turn around and go, I'm not going to get another, you know, normal job, let's per se. I'm gonna be a full-time trader. I'm gonna give this a proper go and get into this, because like I said, the risk is gigantic, and as you've just said, you could lose, you know, $7,000 like that. It's crazy. So what made you do that?
Well, so it was when I was on furlough, I had my crypto portfolio, which was my only investment I had left.
Yeah.
And that was starting to make money. That was more of an investing portfolio rather than my trading. I do more investing at the moment than trading.
Okay.
But so when that started to make more money than I was making a year, I was like, why? I don't see a point in trying to like change. Like, why go and work for someone when I can essentially do this myself? And it was also like, I'm not spending a lot of the money I'm making. I'm trying to build up a nice like cushion for me to keep doing this. A lot of people just spend their money like straight away. Like they'll make $10,000 and they'll go buy a new car. Lease a car or spend it on, I don't know, a night out.
You were just always saving.
Like
You were always
like
looking
with
at
me, yeah.
what's next. You know, what can this
Yeah.
go towards? So you backed yourself, basically. You backed yourself. You looked at what you had, what you'd done. You backed yourself. You trusted yourself to be safe with money,
Yeah.
and you gave it a go.
Yeah, like, so yeah, although I'm doing well with it at the moment,
Yeah.
obviously anything can happen. Can
Of course.
change
Yeah.
in the night. I'm not going to go and start spending it. I'd rather build up positions to the point where I can say, right, if everything goes wrong, I've got enough to get me through a year of trying something else, or
Yeah.
I've got enough to like slowly work at rebuilding, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. No, I totally get what you mean. I totally get you. So what I want to ask is, so when you say to someone, trading, things like that, a lot of people, and I've heard this from people in the past and stuff like that, people just assume you just put money on and you just sit back. And you just sit back and you wait for it to grow. It's crazy because people think, oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on Bitcoin, I'm going to bung 100 quid on, and I'm just going to sit back and wait for the profit to come in, which I know from talking with you that it's complete and utter rubbish. So what I want you to dive into for me and for the fans and audience out there is, what is your work schedule? Because I've heard it and I know it's mad, but I want you to talk us through maybe a typical day, maybe a typical week of what you actually have to go through, because I tell you what, it's a lot harder than what everyone thinks.
Yeah, so I've changed my schedule now.
Yep.
But because when I was trading, I'd have positions open. I would have an alarm at 3 a.m. I mean, I'm up till 3 a.m. anyway. I just can't sleep.
Yeah.
I'd have like 3 alarms. 3 a.m. alarm, 6 a.m. alarm, and 9 a.m. alarm, and then a midday alarm.
Crikey.
And I would just wake up and check the market. I wouldn't have to do anything. But sometimes I would have to, like, pull a position if things looked bad.
Yeah. But you have to check. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing you're getting across. Like, you have to check. It's not a case of sit back and wait and see what happens. You have to always constantly be looking. Because I've seen you when we've been out playing golf, when we've been out for drinks or whatever. I've seen you on your phone. You're like, I've got to check. It only takes you 30 seconds, but every couple hours you're like, I've got to check how it is.
Yeah.
But that's the point I'm making. It's not a case of sitting back and all that. It is, you've got to check every couple of hours. Your sleep schedule is absolutely shot. Because you said that you're up till 3 a.m. anyway. But I know for a fact you're still thinking about the trading. You're worrying about it. You're keeping an eye on it. I know you are always keeping an eye on it. So, can you ever really relax when doing trading? Seriously?
Yeah, like when you're when you've got when you're just holding a position, like when you're investing, so you actually own. So the difference between like investing is like you own them shares.
Yeah.
And like trading, you're borrowing them shares with leverage to get a bigger return.
Yeah.
So when you're trading, you have that constant worry, especially in crypto, because it's 24/7. With investing, you can set like a 3-year plan and be like, right, I'm going to buy this between this price range for 3 years, and then I'm going to wait for it to hit this target, which is nice. Like that's a nice that's the nice side of it. That's where you can sit back and kind of relax.
Yeah.
But that's normally whilst you're doing your research and looking into the company, and lots of other stuff. But with trading, your positions are always at risk.
Yeah. Like,
I thought I was safe, and I got liquidated like the other day, and then like a couple of like weeks ago, I had one position liquidated. Yeah, I
remember you telling me that one of the cryptos that you were involved in got liquidated. And I remember I was worried. I was worried for you. I was like, oh my god. I was like, are you okay? And you were like, it's okay. It's just one of many.
Yeah.
You weren't that bothered by it, but obviously you know what to expect. Whereas I was scared for you.
Yeah, like so I have like different like trades going. Some are like bigger, like have a bigger return, more potential. So I'll focus them. Like right now, I've only got 3 trades open.
Yeah.
I had 7.
Can you go through if you can what 7 you had open and why you had so many? Because a lot of people just assume Bitcoin is probably the big one. But I remember talking to you once and you said Bitcoin wasn't even that good.
I mean, Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin.
It's obviously the biggest, but I remember at the time you were like, it's not as amazing at the moment.
for like jumping into investing,
Yeah.
like a lot of people like will see it go from, let's say, $20,000, because most of the market's done in dollars. So $20,000, they'll see it go to $40,000, and they'll think that's a huge jump. But if you only invest £100, that's £200 you make from that trade.
Yeah.
Which is, and it's got to do big jumps, and the more expensive Bitcoin gets, the harder them jumps become.
Yeah.
Because like let's say it goes to 100k, that means for you to double your money, it needs to go to 200k.
Yeah, of course.
And then so on. And like, yeah, I think it will get to 200k. Maybe not this year. I don't know. No one knows for sure.
Yeah, of course. No one ever knows.
I just personally don't think. I could be wrong. It could go to 1 million. Who knows?
Exactly. So which ones did you have at the time when you had like your most, which was like 7? Which ones did you have at the time?
So I had one called RLC that works in like cloud computing.
Yep.
I had one called Sealer, which does like layer 2 scaling in crypto. Cardano, which is like you can build apps and stuff on it, or dApps on it. Okay. But they're still rolling out a lot of their projects. So people call them like the ghost chain or vaporware, because they don't, like, nothing's actually been built on it yet. Right. So, but it's popular. So you want to buy? I like Cardano. I had Matic, which is another layer 2 scaling solution. And then I had KSM, Acro, and another, I can't remember what the other crypto was, but them 3 were decided based on just technical analysis. I didn't actually look into the project that much.
But it's like interesting because none of them was Bitcoin.
No.
Which is interesting, and that's the point I'm making, because a lot of people just assume, oh, Bitcoin, that's the biggest one, that's what you're going for. But you weren't going for that at that time. You were going for other ones, and you were doing quite well with them. So it takes, you've really, really got to do your research, and you've got to know what you're doing before doing this and getting into it.
Yeah, like the return of investment it was better for me.
Yeah, of course.
You know, if I had like 200 grand spare, there would have been Bitcoin in there.
Right, yeah.
But I didn't. So
in an ideal world, mate. In an ideal world, we'll have 200k.
If I had like, you know, $1 million aside, I'd have a load of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all still.
Yeah.
I don't, and when you don't, like, that's why a lot of people, like, that's why like in the media you'll see a lot of people investing in like Dogecoin, Shiba Coin, whatever other coin, like meme coins.
Yeah.
They're very cheap, and you can get like 1 billion of them for like £100, let's say.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and they can move a lot more in terms of percentage wise than Bitcoin. Like, just for like comparison sake, like Bitcoin, because everyone knows Bitcoin. When you think of crypto, everyone thinks of Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like, so that's why, like, yeah, for me, Bitcoin, I like Bitcoin, but I don't invest in it. I move money into Bitcoin, but I don't actually hold him at the moment.
No, that's fair. No, that's fine. I totally understand, and that's the point I was making. That even though it's the most popular, doesn't mean everyone's doing it. It doesn't mean that's the one to do. But you were saying basically that, you know, when you're invested in these currencies, these cryptocurrencies, like you said with Bitcoin or whatever, it can change on a daily basis. It can be up, it can be down, or anything like that. Yeah. What I wanted to ask you was, what are the worries you have, maybe in yourself? Maybe that could be anxiety, fear, things like that. Do you go for any of that on a daily basis, to the thought of, maybe I could lose, I could be liquidated? Because like I said, people think, I'll bung 100 quid on Bitcoin and I'll just sit back and you know, just see what happens. Whereas when it's your job and it's the only thing that you're doing at the moment, do you worry on a daily basis?
Yes, all the time.
You do. How much fear and worry would you say you have?
But like, always stressed about it.
Yeah.
Always checking, not getting much sleep.
Yep.
Like, even when now I've changed my schedule, I still don't get good sleep, because it's just, my mind's constantly ticking, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, there's like anxiety definitely has like ramped up since I've been doing this.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you also get all the other like just health problems with that kind of stuff. Like, like it's like stomach pains, tight
Mhm.
chest,
Yeah.
like not sleeping, so your body starts to ache like everywhere, and
Yeah.
you're just like it's just that constant like that kind of side of it. But
Yeah.
it it, it it just comes and goes. Like there'll be like a month where I don't feel like that, but then when things aren't going as good, and you see like your positions falling and liquidating,
Yeah.
that's when everything ramps up.
Yeah, no, I totally get you, and that's why I asked, because it's not the same. But for me, for example, being a streamer and a content creator, I'm always thinking, what can I do to be better? What can I do to improve? And there's times where I can't sleep and I'm up for hours because I'm thinking of ideas, things I want to do, things I want to add. Because in the world of that, it's a mentality of, if you're not working, someone else is working. If you're not doing something, someone else is doing it. And it's got to be exactly the same with crypto and trading and investing, especially when there's money involved, and a lot of money as well. So that's why I wanted to get the point across with you, that it's not all rainbows. It's not all, oh, it's a great time. Oh, I'm a trader, I'm putting money in. You worry constantly, consistent panic, worry, fear of liquidation, of it going wrong. But like you said, some days are good, some days are bad. So that's what I wanted to ask as well. So when it's high, but when it's low, it's incredibly low. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think a lot of like, so on Twitter you have a lot of traders that show their losses, or like say it's like all good, like don't like try and put encouragement, but it does, no matter how much money you have, like if you lose like let's say a $16,000 position,
Yeah.
you're still gonna feel like shit, because you just don't like lose, like you don't like losing, even if it's like 50 quid, you're like, oh, that's a waste.
Of course. Yeah.
But like so it's always a worry, and you have like these major highs where everything's going up and you're euphoric and you're like, yes, I can't believe, like this is the best day ever.
Yeah.
And then like the next month it might all be back down and you'll be like, I should have done this.
Yeah.
The three best traders are coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Of course, and that's just it just comes. It's a cliche, but it comes with the job. It comes with the territory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Of constant worry, constant fear. But like you said, when it's high, the euphoria, you can't compare to it. But I bet when you have like a good couple of weeks when you're really up and everything's going well, I bet you're on top of the moon.
Yeah, you do. You feel like you're like, yes, I've done this, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, and then, but also the thing with like crypto is it's the only market where you can feel like £50,000 isn't a lot.
Yeah.
Because of how crazy it is.
Yeah. No, I totally understand what you mean.
It makes no sense, and then sometimes you have to step back and go, geez, this is like 2 years' work.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you mean, because for you, it's a certain amount, but you know how much is out there of what people are getting, or what there is to get, or what you can make. But if you say to the normal average Joe like me, someone else, they're like, are you joking? That's insane money, mate. They'll be like, I'd love to have that, and you'd be like, no, you do not want to do this. Like, no, you do not. Yeah. No, that's fair. No, I totally get you. So, question: So obviously, like I said, with when you obviously lost your job through COVID and things like that, you obviously pursued trading and investing and took a gamble on yourself. You backed yourself, which I highly respect, by the way. As for me, that did the exact same with streaming and content creating. I only did it because of COVID. I was working in a warehouse. I lost that, and I thought, let's give this a go. So I totally respect it. And I totally admire it. What do your friends and family think about it? Because obviously you would have told them and things like that, because it's not like you're not making anything. You're succeeding, you're doing well, you're making money, you things like that. What do your family and friends think about it?
I like a lot of my cousins, my three cousins that do crypto as well, and like stocks. We're all talking about it all the time. Like we have a little chat.
That must have helped.
Like a WhatsApp chat.
That must have helped that they did it already, because like it's one of those things not everyone does.
Oh no, they've got into it like now. But,
through you?
Well, yeah, kind of through.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
From you. One of my cousins is a professional trader anyway, like in gas markets.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Into gas markets, but
right.
like so he knows about markets.
Yeah.
Anyway, So he helps us with like technical analysis, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then my other cousin, good at like finding out tech and understanding the tech.
Yeah.
Like in proper detail. So we all like kind of bounce off of each other, and it makes it easier, because before it was just me investing and having to read up and do stuff. Whereas now you've got like, the more people you have working, like not working, but I mean in the space, the chance of them finding a good project that you haven't found or you've looked over is a heck of a lot higher. You know, like my cousin stumbled across a couple of good projects which have done good things, and yeah, it's just better having like more people in there.
Yeah, of course. What does your what do your parents think about it? You know, your sister, for example, because obviously they it's not the norm for them to know anything about it. So what was it like when you told them? You know, your parents especially. You know, guys. You know, I'm trading now, because obviously they're gonna ask. You're their son. Yeah. They care. They want to know. So what were their thoughts and reactions when you said, you know, I'm a full-time, you know, trader now and investor?
Yeah, they just let me get on with it. Like, they don't really understand it as much. Like I've tried to, like, my dad's trying to understand it.
Yeah.
Like he's dabbling in crypto. Started looking into futures as well.
Is he?
Playing around. Yeah.
It's running in the family, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's playing around with it.
Nice.
So, but like my mum doesn't really understand it at all.
Of course.
No, doesn't either.
But it's nice that they support you. It's nice that they're like, do you know what?
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
we trust you know what you're doing. And the thing is, well, it's one of those things, isn't it? If you're making a bit of money every now and then and stuff like that, they can't complain, can they? They're like, you know, obviously know what you're doing, so you know. So that's fine. No, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Because I always want to ask, because you know, every parent's are different. You know, back when I was younger, you know, any goal or dream that I had, my parents were always like, "Oh, that's rubbish. Go and get a job. Go and be a normal person." I was like, "Thank you. You know, love you too. Thanks." You know, so that's why I'm very curious to know, because crypto and trading, things like that, it's risky, it's scary, you know, and it's different. It's so different. So, I think that's the thing though with like parents, is they want you to like do well, but they don't want you to like take risks. Of course. They're gonna like really like screw you up. Yeah. Especially when you get into like our age now. Absolutely.
Like, you know, we don't have much time to develop a career as such.
Yeah, exactly.
Like why would they go for us when they can go for like the fresh out of uni or college students? You know, but like I think when things are working, as long as I'm being sensible and stuff, they're happy with it. They just always say like, you know, keep an eye, make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't get too greedy, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like, but they're fine, and they let me just crack on with whatever I'm doing. Nice. It's really nice that they do that. Yeah, it's really nice. Do you fill them in monthly on how it's going, what you're up to, or do you just kind of not really just tell them? You just say to them, "I'm doing fine, by the way, like it's going well." Yeah, like so every day, like my mum will ask, how's it going today? Like when she comes home from work, so I just say up or down, blah blah blah. Yeah. And then my dad also, because he's looking through, like crypto as well. He'll say, "Oh, this has gone up a lot," or "This is nice," and all that stuff. And like he's got some of the same investments as me, so like we like talk about them sometimes. Like we just like on a day-to-day basis. So it comes up every day. Nice. I like that. So it's a bit like when like people come home from work, you say, "Oh, how's work?" Exactly. It's just the same thing now. Yeah. Except my work is in my room. Yeah, I mean, mate, that's the dream, isn't it? But it's nice that they're supportive. It's nice that they care. It's nice that they are supportive and stand 100%. By you, which is great, because you've taken a risk on yourself, and they've echoed that by saying, you know, we trust you. We trust what you're doing, and you know, we love you and want you to do it, which is fantastic. So what would you say with trading and investing? What is the end goal for you, and what is the duration? Do you have a set time frame of? Because you look at people like even something like professional like singers, rappers, everything like. Some of them say, "I only want to do this for like 10 years, and then I want to move on to other stuff." Do you have a set time frame of how long you want to do this for, and do you have an end goal, or are you just kind of living in the moment almost? Kind of like just living in the moment, really. Yeah. I'd say, well, for crypto, my end goal is probably going to be either just before Christmas or a couple months after. Depends how the market goes. Really? Only for like that'll be when I take out a lot of my profits. Right. And then I will go back into it. Yeah. I'll probably wait, but that'll be more. It won't be as hectic. It'll be like buying an X amount every month.
Yeah.
for 3 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like I don't really have an end goal as such. I could probably see myself investing in some sort of way for the rest of my life.
Okay.
But the investments have given me opportunities to pursue other things. So like I could set up like businesses or stuff in certain sectors.
So
is
it more a sense of you kind of with the investing and trading you're doing now? It's kind of like giving you experience for the future. You're kind of just like getting experience from it, learning what the do's, the don'ts, what you should do, shouldn't do, for then later on, if you wanted to invest in like a big business or even start your own or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, it's given me the opportunity to invest in my own companies.
Yeah.
Like a lot of startups struggle to get the funds to keep running.
Right.
Whereas like let's say like the rich get richer because they can just buy the best. You know, like let's say I was like a multi-millionaire, I could set up a company and I could have good work, like people who are good at their job working for me and be able to pay them for like 3 years. 4 years, and be like, right, I can run this company at a loss for 4 years, but I'm going to try and but that can be my setting up stage rather than just me slaving away on a company for 4 years and then getting to a point where I just can't pursue it anymore.
Yeah. I
can kind of get other people to help me out.
Okay.
Because everything has a price on it. So, but yeah, that's just my idea. Like people who are running startups will probably be like, nah, that's completely bollocks, mate. You don't know what you're talking about, and I don't, because I've never done a startup.
But everyone has their own. Everyone has their own reasons for doing something, don't they? The thing is, at least you have an idea of where you're going. You know, there's probably loads of people that just trade just because it's going well and they enjoy it, and they don't have a goal or anything like that. At least you have a pathway of where you're going and things like that. And this thing, like I said, everyone has their different reasons for doing certain things. So you have yours. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, just do you. And at the end of the day,
it's working for you. It's working for you. Keep doing it, mate. Yeah. Exactly. So what? Yeah. So one thing I did want to quickly ask, because I've seen a lot of people do this, and obviously I've spoken to you about people doing this as well, and I find it really funny. And I want to know what you think about this. You know, when you say to people, "I'm a trader and I'm investing and things like that," and someone says to you, "Oh, mate, if I give you 50 quid, can you invest for me?" I mean, what would you say to people that have that mentality, that attitude? What would you say to them?
I just would say no, straight up. That like the thing, because then they say, "Oh, 50 quid, I don't care, just try and make money," and you lose it, and they're like, "Oh, well, gave you 50 quid last time, that didn't go well." It's like, yeah, well, you wanted it in you wanted to see profits in a month's time. I've waited 5 years to see
exactly.
this.
Exactly. People don't realise that it's again a cliche, but I love it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. A lot of people think if you just bung on 50 quid on something, in a couple of days you'll get double or triple that. That's not how it works. You've got to, like you've said earlier, you've got to be keeping an eye on these regularly, daily. And it's funny how people just go, "Oh, put this on for me and sort this out for me." And it's just crazy that people have that mentality to expect you to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
I've had it a couple of times where people have said, "Oh, can you buy this?"
Yeah.
I always recommend that they, I don't mind telling someone what I'm buying.
Yeah.
If you want to follow, you can follow. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I always say, have your own stocks, or cryptos, whatever you're investing in.
Yeah.
Have your own, have access to them, learn it, and then try to understand it a little bit, and then you can start investing. Once you can invest, once you can go onto an exchange and get all the noise out of the way and learn to invest, you don't really need. You can do your own research. Everyone can read.
Yeah.
I mean, most people can read.
Yeah.
And do research.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of doing that. But people are lazy, and they see someone making thousands and they're like, "I want that."
Very true.
Do this for me. And
very true.
What would they give you?
Exactly. They don't offer anything, do they? They don't offer anything to you. Yeah.
Why would I make you someone £1,000? Or and they'll say you can take 10% if I can do that myself.
Exactly.
And if obviously this is like not close friends and family. That's completely different.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm talking about like people who don't really know you.
Yeah, of course.
Know of you.
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
Can you invest this? And I'll be like, no.
Yeah, why would you put the time to doing it for someone else? You could put the time to do it for yourself, especially when you know how much time there is to put into it. But that was interesting that you say that. Do you think, because obviously you've been doing trading and investing for a very long time, has it ever affected friendship or anything like that? Like, have you ever had someone be like, can you do this for me? And you've said no and they've kind of had an issue, or maybe you said yes and it didn't go so well, or have all your friends, because like you said, it was normally people that don't really know you that ask, but has any friends asked you or family and it's gone badly?
No, like I've never had like any fallouts. I had that when I first started investing in crypto.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin bought like some dodgy shares and that didn't go well. But other than that, it's been all like other than that, like nothing. But like there's no like fallouts with friends or family over stuff. Like they know the risks.
Yeah, of course.
And at the time, like I was like extremely new and novice to crypto.
Yeah.
So, and I was trying to get rich quick overnight.
Right.
But I stuck with it and I looked into it and I thought I saw something and I was like, you know what, I'm going to just keep going with this. And then here we are.
Friends understand as well. When you've got good friends, they understand. They're not going to put that pressure on you to be like, oh, do this for me. They're going to leave you to do your thing. No, I just wanted to know, just in case you had anything. But no, I appreciate it, Macknnz. We're wrapping up now, my man. But one thing I wanted to ask before we finish is, what advice would you give to someone that maybe wants to get into crypto or investing or trading, someone that has an interest, someone that fancies it and thinks, you know, could it be for me? What advice or bits of advice would you give to someone starting out?
Just like find a project that you actually like read into, let's say a company or a project, like try and understand it, and if you actually think it's going to do well, like stick with it, buy it. Don't just buy something because it's getting hype around it right now or because someone else has told you to.
Yeah.
Like look into it. Even if someone tells you to buy something or you should buy that, look into it and see if you actually think it's
right for you.
If it's worth. Yeah, because like there's lots of people out there who tell you to buy stuff to try and get the price to pump. You know, for every winner there's a loser.
Yeah.
You know, when I sell my shares, someone else buys them at that price.
Right.
And if the price drops, then they buy it at the top.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
You know,
I never thought about it like that. That's interesting. I like that. No, nice. No, I appreciate that, Macknnz. So, let's get your socials on there, because I know that you're very, very active on the old Twitter with your trading and things like that. I know you're very active. So, what is your Twitter handle, my man?
It is CJ McKinnon, I think.
CJ McKinnon.
I think so.
You know you're going to have to tell everyone how to spell that, mate.
Yeah, CJ McKinnon _
Okay.
So CJ MA. I'll just type it to you and then you put it on the screen.
And I'll get it on the screen, mate. I'll get it on the edit. Don't worry. And also, you stream every now and then on Twitch as well. I'm trying to get you to stream crypto, but you do stream every now and then. So what's your handle on there, buddy?
Macknnz, I think.
It is Macknnz, I can tell you that. It is Macknnz. It's Macknnz. It is Macknnz.
Alright, yeah.
NZ, that's the one. I know more than you do about it, mate. I'm stalking you, it seems.
Because the thing is, I can't remember my, because I had, so many usernames for different things. I'm always and they're all so similar. Yeah. In, they're, literally, they've either got an I or they don't.
Yeah. No, so that's fine.
But yeah, no, so yeah, but Twitch is, I normally stream competitive games, but I don't really play that much. And for crypto, it would be boring to watch because
you say that, mate, but people that are interested in it would love to watch and see how you work. But I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you taking the time, my man. I appreciate you talking to me. Thank you for coming on the debut of A Night In with Whizz, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you, my man. You want to say goodbye to everyone?
Thank you. Right, see you later.
right, that's enough out of you, mate. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Cheers, having me.
Nah, pleasure, mate. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated.
Cheers.